the battle over content. Time Warner Cable CEO Glenn Britt says nobody wins in feed disputes between cable operators and the broadcasters, which can lead, as we have seen this year, to blackouts. I sat down with Britt yesterday and asked him his thoughts on the recent ugly clash between Fox and Cablevision.
We've obviously had our own disputes.
Yes.
Sometimes we're able to make a deal, sometimes we're not. We've had stations go dark also in the past. Essentially what's happening is that in 1992, the Congress, in an effort to save free over-the-air broadcast TV, came up with this idea of retransmission consent, which was a new property right that didn't exist before. We separately pay for copyright for that programming, so that, in a way, we're paying twice. That's clearly not what Congress intended. They intended for there to be a subsidy, and they thought there was a balance in negotiations where the public wouldn't be dragged in. So what we've been calling for is for the FCC to open a process to look at the process of arriving at the amount that's paid. So we're not disputing that some amount should be paid. We're not quarreling with that. We're just saying there ought to be some process that doesn't involve these disputes that go public with stations going dark and what have you.
You mean some standard or something like that?
A standard or even arbitration or something. And I honestly don't know whether we'd end up paying more or less at the end of that. So again, that's not the focus. The focus is on having some transparent process that arrives at the answer quickly without the public being dragged in with all this advertising and shouting that goes on.
Well, Chase Carey said, and he told Bloomberg this, that if it wasn't for the prospect of government intervention, that the blackouts would never have occurred.
I understand he said that, and I think that's not the case. When you have a very tough economy, when we're trying to keep our retail prices down and therefore our costs down, and when various of our providers try to have their prices, or wholesale prices, go from here to here, I think it's natural that we wouldn't just say yes to whatever they ask for.
Britt also discussed the several new custom packages the company is rolling out to help lure and retain subscribers, including the lower-priced service aimed at economically strapped consumers from this recession.